Hi, my name is Chisom Vivian Ebiblem. So in today's video, I want to use this great platform to talk about some of the things that has made a lot of parents all over the world not to be able to give their children proper education, or will I say proper training that they deserve. One of this problem is social economic factor. Yes. When I talk about social economic factor, I am talking about the general poverty. Yes. Or let me talk about the abject poverty. There are people who are living in vicious cycle from hand to mouth on daily basis in every day of their life. No matter how hard they have been working, it seems as if nothing is happening. Every day they live their life regretting, asking questions, asking themselves why they are here on earth. Talk more of giving their children proper education. These parents I'm talking about, this social economic factor, this poverty, this economic problem, this inflation that has made the economy too hard for some parents to survive, to even be, they can, at the point that some parents cannot even put 3 square meal on the table in their family. After working for a whole day, they can only be able to afford a meal, and even in that meal they cannot be able to eat from it. Rather, they will end up giving it only to their children. Tell me how these parents will survive. Tell me how these parents will even go out of their way thinking of putting their child in school or giving their child a proper education. And this hardship has brought about the fact that these parents, they are working way hard that they don't even have time for their children. The economy has become very bad. And at this point, I would want to solicitize with our leaders. The only thing I'm going to plead here is that, please, you people should have mercy on this society. Look out for those things that has been the cause of this hardship, so that other people can survive. Sometimes when you are a leader, you will not understand what it means to be at the bottom, what it means to have nothing. Some of you even live at the areas, you even live at the islands and the and isolated places where it is only the wealth and the mighty. They are only the ones that live there. They don't even know that there is hardship, there is poverty, there are people who are suffering. Please, I would want you, ask questions, ask your advisors, let them make a research, know the areas where you are supposed to come in to amend some laws, amend some things so that the economy will normalize. Let there be equality, so that this cause of inflation will stop. Let there be no more hardship. I know that even in the next 100 years to come, things will still be hard. But at least there are some measures that the leaders need to take in order to minimize the hardship. Something needs to be done. Aside from that, please, if you're watching my video for the first time, my name is Chisom Ebiblem, and please remember to subscribe to this channel. Turn up your notification button should in case I have another video coming up. Okay, let's go to the second thing that has been the major problem that has been making some parents not be able to give their children the quality education that they deserve and the proper training as they ought to. Another thing is societal pressure. Let's take for instance that you are comfortable and you have a child that is staying with you. Now, in this aspect of life, you have decided to give that child, let's say, a proper education. Maybe enrolling that child in the same school with your children. Now, at this point, you have a friend that comes around in your home, or maybe let's say you have this outspoken friend that is always uh, that always loves to intrude in other people's business, and she said, why would you want to put your maid in the same school with your children? That doesn't sound right. Are you sure you're doing the right thing? Why don't you enroll him or her in maybe a public school around? This one is societal pressure. This is a situation whereby some parents get advice from the society, the community, the environment where they are on how to raise their children. At this point, they will see the reason to maybe go for those ideas, or maybe go those expectations of the society or the community, neglecting their children's priority, forgetting to prioritize what those children that are staying with them or what their children really needs. Now they want to follow other people's idea that they are bringing to him or her. You get? They want to enroll the child, or they want to train that child based on what people are saying. This is what is right, this is what is wrong. You get? They don't want to bring themselves down, look out for the best possible means to train those children. This is what you call societal pressure. Another one is cultural background. Yes. This one is, you find it in India, in some other countries, whereby people, they prioritize, will I say, obedience rather than that child's major needs. This is a situation, I know maybe you are confused at this point. In this cultural background, this is a point whereby some parents will say, my child, my daughter, I will only train my male child in school, but for the females, they will have to stay home because at some point, maybe when they are 13, 15, or 18, they will get married. What's the point of training a girl child when at the end of the day, she will end up being a man's wife or being a housewife? They are living based on their culture, and they want to abide by a moral, the child behaving and obeying their parents, behaving the way they want. They don't know that at the end of the day, that child will be dependent. They are depriving that child from being outspoken. They are depriving that child from being independent. They are depriving that child from interacting as he or she is supposed to. You get? Because their parents believe in some certain culture. So that child is now being, will I say, they have killed, that child cannot be able to, let's say, express his or her let's say, how do I put it? They will deprive that child, they will make that child to be, not to be, even that child will have a very low self-esteem because he believes that he cannot associate with the world. He or she believes he cannot interact. He or she believes that he cannot bring out his own initiative or his own idea, because the parents has trained them to live a certain way of life. That is in terms of culture. So now, another one is parental lifestyle. Let me tell you, there are some parents that has decided to train their child with what we call authoritarian way of parenting. They want to act, they really want that child to know that they are the one in charge. They want I don't know how to put this up, but this one is very funny. Some parents, like when they are even in their method of parenting, they will shout, they will want to, if you dare do that, I will show you that I'm your father. I will show you that I'm your mother. So those kind of authoritarian parents, parent way of parenting, is one of the things that has made some children not to get, you know, good way of, self-esteem, not being outspoken and all of that, because their parents want to show their children that they are in charge, that kind of a thing, not knowing that the world has come to a point where you need to be free with your children. Let your children know that they can come to you at any given time to share their problems or maybe their idea or maybe confide in you. That's passing. Okay, that's by the way. So these are the things that has caused some parents not to give their children proper education or let's say proper training. When a parent is trying to be an authoritarian parent, he or she will think, I'm doing the best. I'm showing my parents that I'm showing my children, my kids that I am their parent, not knowing that they are inculcating fear. Yes, they are inculcating fear in their children's life. So these factors I've mentioned so far, I've mentioned social economic factor, in terms of the abject poverty. I've mentioned societal expectation, societal pressure. I've mentioned cultural background. I've mentioned what again? Parental lifestyle. Yes. There is this particular one. This is what we call unavailability of educational materials. Yes. Let me tell you, sometimes it's not always the fault of some parents that they are not giving their children a particular quality education or the proper education or proper training that they deserve. Sometimes it is actually the problem of lack of educational materials. Let's take for example that you are a wealthy parent, you have all it takes to live this life, you are comfortable, and at some point you decide to enroll your child in a school, and going to that school, depending on the environment where you are, you figured out that there are a lot of things that they don't have in that school. Maybe your child wants to become, let's say, a footballer, or maybe your child wants to become let's say, a basketball, want to or maybe your child wants to be a professional tennis player. And going to that school or maybe to that institute where you enroll that child, they don't have all the necessary materials needed. Okay, sorry, I think I'm prolonging this. Let's just say that there is no library in a school for a child to go and make a research.